Welcome to Daggers and Shadow Daddies.
We're your hosts, Ryan and Adriana.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
They cranked up the spiciness.
Oh, dude, you could thoroughly enjoy the first 5 chapters of this book if you just didn't listen to chapter 2. It'd be that easy.
We were driving through a
Canyon
with our kids to go hiking. We each had our headphones on. And going through chapter 2. I was not prepared for.
If the kids weren't in the car, we just run the car off the side of the canyon. That's it.
Oh, and then to meet up with our friends after, because we ended on chapter 2, and they were just like, all right, let's turn off the headphones.
Yeah, no, it was.
Came 3 times.
No, she didn't.
Oh, wait, what?
He did.
I'm pretty sure she did.
Oh, no. So she may have ended off that way. Do you, first, I got notes on that one. Let's start on chapter 1.
Okay, chapter 1 was pretty short. We kind of just re-listened to it even. There wasn't a whole lot, really. She was just kind of learning how to use her new body and having nightmares.
Fair enough. Yeah, she talks about how her fingers are longer.
Yes.
I think she's so strong she did silverware, which is a weird thing. I like that she just kept busting glass doors and they just kept throwing a new one up there.
Well,
tax the people. Don't worry about it.
The last time we talked, I brought up how she never mentioned what it was like with her new body and experiencing sex and whatnot. Yet this entire thing was what it was like with her new body. I was just surprised that, again, there was still nothing different about, I don't know, it just seemed like something that should have been addressed.
Yeah, and I'm glad they addressed the new body thing, but how are we not also talking about, you're super strong now, right? You're super fast.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you out there just ripping trees out of the ground? If I get superpowers, the first thing I'm doing is just seeing if I can manually chop a tree.
She kind of did ask. She wanted to go and help the people, offering her services. And even when she was on the horse, she asked Lucian if they could go by foot.
Yeah.
Because she's like, you could be there in a couple of minutes running. She wants to do those types of things.
Yeah, but also, I'd be making laps around the house. If they're not letting me out of there, dude, I'm testing it.
Well, we already heard what you'd be doing with this new body the last time that we talked about it.
That's true.
I would be very concerned. I think you would just be nude the entire time. You'd just be like, everybody, look at me.
I'm going to be completely honest. I don't see how that's a lot different than now. If the kids aren't home, I am nude. Period. Windows open, I don't care.
Oh, this was an odd thing about chapter 1. I noticed they have toilets.
Yeah.
I just assumed they had outhouses.
Well, it's crazy that we went through the entire first book and they were never mentioned. A toilet was not brought up once.
Well, I don't think
her bowels turned to water 1,000 times in the first book.
Oh. What do you mean?
It's a phrase she used all the time. Every time she got upset or whatever, it's, my bowels turned to liquid. And I'm like, can we stop saying that, please? Because, the fact that you have diarrhea is upsetting.
Well, I think each of the times, too, their house, the small little village one, small for a bathroom.
Okay.
Then she goes into this castle, life is good, no reason to even mention it. And then the next time that she's going to need a bathroom, she was in a jail cell, and she just had her little poop corner, or her little puke corner, whatever it is.
Yeah, no. Well, it's okay. This is why I think the bathroom would have been notable in the first book. If you move out of a house that had no bathroom and you move into a castle, the biggest thing in that castle for you is going to be you now have a bathroom.
I think we could have spent chapters going over the difference of lifestyle that she'd be in shock and awe.
No, okay. I feel like we went over the table settings and we didn't go over a bathroom. I think we really missed the mark a little bit. You and I have been camping together many, many times. We go to motocross races. We do all of these things with our outhouses, right?
Yeah.
I do get to hear about how you wish there were a bathroom and not an outhouse. I think Feyre is the kind of lady who, if she'd been pooping outdoors for, I don't know, for the last decade of her life, and all of a sudden there's a golden latrine, you're going to hear about how the gold felt on her ass cheeks.
There we go. The book is just done, just ruined.
Yeah. What was the last book?
What was the book again that I did not like? the chemistry lessons in chemistry.
Yeah.
Also, the dog starts talking. I'm like, done. It's just done for. I can't continue this book.
See, this is my favorite because I can have these gripes with this book and still really enjoy it. But if you have a legitimate gripe with a book, you're like, that's it.
I'm done.
I'm done.
This isn't one of them. It was just kind of
No, but it should-
entertaining. Of just like it completely shifted my world view on it. I'm like, whoa, we got toilets here.
Dude, I'm so excited to hear about the paper.
Oh,
Like,
I don't
know.
think we will.
Do you think it's bidet style? Like, they're magic.
That sounds fancy, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would do. If I'm a fae, magic bidet.
Another thing with
Oh, wait, they can just magic themselves clean.
yeah.
They don't even need toilet paper.
Do you think they never wipe their butt?
I don't think so.
And why bother?
Well,
You
yeah.
just wave your hand and just leave.
Remember when rhysand?
Yeah,
Or
they pronounce
rhysand?
it different now. Rhysand.
Yeah.
Oh no,
No? Uh-oh. You have a note on this somewhere?
I published the last episode and I just realized I was gonna go back and edit the way I spelled his name was wrong. And I was gonna just go back and re-record me spelling it correctly out loud. And I
That's
just
awesome.
pushed it out.
Well, here's what I'll do. Listener, of you there are one. Don't go back and read that. And if there are more of you by now and you start picking on that, that's it. We're not friends. Find something else.
Yeah, Rhysand.
don't like
The
that.
narrator is pronouncing it differently this time.
I thought you being the Star Wars person, that would really upset you.
It's not too bad right now. There's definitely not an L in it, how you were pronouncing it.
No, you're correct. I was way wrong. But I thought that the rhysand, doesn't it make you think of like it gets everywhere?
I think it's going to mostly switch to how she calls it Rhys
I hope so.
and everybody else calls him Rhysand. So when it's weird, it just kind of will be, those are not our friends.
In my head, he's rhysandy cheeks. But I'm just saying, it's you got a SpongeBob, I got a SpongeBob reference. We're in there. We're bobbing.
Oh, yeah, because I had the worm, Alaskan bullworm.
Yeah.
The better, the SpongeBob reference.
Oh, okay, fine. I won't take it personally.
What else did you have on chapter 1?
Honestly, I took 0 notes for the first 5 chapters because I was just cuddling you and then I fell asleep.
No notes. Great content. Moving on.
Yeah, honestly. So, yeah, the first one I was driving. The second chapter, I have notes on that, which are mental notes because I was driving through a canyon.
Mental traumatic note.
No. It's really funny. Well, no, man, it's funny for me. I don't know if it's going to be funny for you. You give me your chapter 2, and then I'll give you my chapter 2.
My chapter 2, in the beginning, she's talking more kind of the new lifestyle that she's going through because she was living incredibly rich lifestyle with her father. They lost it all. Then it's a very poor lifestyle. Then she goes and she's living with Tamlin, but she's kind of a prisoner. And then she is a literal prisoner in a jail cell. And now here she is going through all these ceremonies and just hating it.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
It sounded like
I mean,
she
oh, boo-hoo.
was bitter.
Yeah, she's bitter, but also like kind of like boo-hoo, right? Like this feels a little bit like when famous people are like, why don't I have any privacy? It's like, well, you wanted 50 million Instagram followers. The fact that they're all watching it, it's kind of also your fault. Like, I get it.
My little note on it is Feyre isn't queen material. Like, she's a queen, but she is not a queen, like, sitting and doing nothing. She cares a lot about the people and just sitting there and just following all the rules, being safe, being an icon of safety.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that one. I don't think it fits her character, and it fits the other lady who we're introduced to.
Yes, I wanted to know what your thoughts were on
Princess
her too.
Elsa.
Ianthe.
There we go. I knew you would get it.
Yes.
I had an I in my head,
Yeah.
and I didn't get IF at all.
Well, however I tried spelling her name the first time was wrong. It was this creepy, when I looked up fan art,
Yeah?
it was a creepy, like, hooded woman who I think it was even bald. I'm like, this is not how I pictured her.
I agree with you. She was creepy in
But
the
that-
photo that you showed me.
Yeah, but
And then the way she was
then-
described was just an uber sexy, platinum blonde haired, nearly blue eyed. Like, I pictured her like a sexy Zelda.
that's how I knew I spelled her name wrong.
Because sexy Zelda didn't get you where you wanted to be.
Oh, I thought there was going to be some girl on girl action at one point where Feyre is kind of like,
The book's not over. And if chapter 2 has anything to say about it, Feyre could use somebody that knows her way around. Because
It sounds like Ianthe would be good in bed.
It sounds like Ianthe would tell you how to be good in bed. I think there's a distinction there. I don't think she's taking care of your business. I think she's a little bit like Tamlin. This is what I wanted to touch on for chapter 2. Chapter 2, Tamlin, 2 pump chumps his way into victory.
Yeah, it sounded like he only made a couple pumps and he was just done.
But they were powerful pumps, right?
Yeah.
And then after he just unloads, no pun intended, on this poor lady, right? He slowly decides, he's like debating in his head. He's like, well, you should get off too. And he goes down there and Mao's on his own business.
After he listened, she really didn't finish.
No, she did in the end because he then, he unloads and then he goes down there and is like, your own brand.
Wet.
Yeah, he is. He's like, my own brand. I'll slurp up some royal splooge.
Stop. Oh.
Hey, I didn't write the book. I'm going to keep this real brief because if anybody would still be listening, they should have stopped before I said that.
Did he bite her nipple so hard that she bled?
No. He bit her tit and then healed it and kissed it where it was tender.
Oh.
And it wasn't the nipple. Now, he does bite on the nip, but not hard enough to draw blood, just enough to make her get where she's going.
The term licked her wound was used.
Yeah, no, and that's where I think the tit. I think he bit her on the tit, not the nip.
Oh.
And then he goes for the nip afterward.
In fact, the word wound was used. I was like, ow. I'm just sitting there listening, like covering up my chest, like, I know I said your hair is like Tamlin, but no.
I become insulted by this because Tamlin's turned...
Like,
no, I'm teasing.
Blonde, luscious hair.
Oh, I appreciate that. No, I'm teasing. I mean, Tamlin is like a real controlling dude, which we kind of guessed from the other book.
The difference of him at the beginning of the book to now, I think he is motivated by trauma to protect her. I think there are a lot of trauma responses going on. And
with your therapy background, I 100% am inclined to believe
you. Don't have a therapy background.
You.
There's a psychological research background.
Oh, I was going for the fact that, like, therapy, like, we partake in therapy.
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time
I think that he is very protective, but it's motivated by his own insecurities from being unable to protect her when he was under the mountain.
I think this is all an ego move. I think it's more about how he can appear to be the strongest leader.
Yes.
And the most secure person for his position.
But again, I think that falls into insecurity, though.
No, I think you're right, but it doesn't make it less selfish. Like, if somebody, like, robs you, it's because they're insecure about the amount of money they have. It doesn't mean that you should rob people. You're still a piece of garbage. Like, no, I'm not a Tamlin fan, and I think I've been not a Tamlin fan off and on. And I think rhysand, whatever, Rhys, yes, thank you. Okay, I think Big Shadow Papa is trying to kind of, he's on his comeback era right now. You know, he's doing what he can to redeem himself. She's got a sweet room when she gets taken to the...
We're not getting there. That is its own, like, I do not know how this author does it, but the way that he just it is so good. But
right, so I wasn't even going with that part. I was just going with the fact she has a sweet...
I describe this entire, like, first 5 chapters with just a sound. Yeah, no.
We're not that kind of show.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to keep in your pants. No, I assume you have more notes. My only note was Tamlin's a 2 pump jump and he sucks in bed. And then he's kind of mean about it. But don't worry, he'll eat his own splooge to get you there.
Ew.
All right, now I'm done saying that.
Do you think Nesta is going to accept Feyre when she finds out?
I don't think she initially will accept Feyre. I think through challenge and necessity, she'll get there. That's what I'm thinking will happen.
It's going to be sad because she already knew that she hates your kind. And Ianthe says our kind. And I don't remember if there was a response, but I do remember feeling when hearing it, the hurt of just like, ew.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think...
They just kind of hated on humans for quite some time.
Feyre has hated on everybody throughout the first book, to be fair. First, she's like, those fucking Fae, they're in our way. Oh, these bitches that worship the Fae, they suck.
Fucking human.
Yeah, the only person who Feyre hasn't judged poorly throughout this entire thing is the warrior lady who she sold the pelt to in the first book.
Yeah.
up until then, every other person, Feyre, at some point or another, has been a complete asshole to. And the world's just like, there's something about her, which I kind of get, because that's how I feel about Nesta. Like, I think we're actually not supposed to like Nesta.
I think that is totally fine to like Nesta. It seems to be a lot of people will hate on her, but if breaking down like actual looking at her character rather than just surface level, she has her place.
Well, and that's where, like, I'm not basing this off of other people. I'm thinking about more in depth of what we were shown, and I'm like, oh, these aren't admirable qualities.
I think you need to go re-listen to chapter 1 and 2.
No, this is the thing. I believe that she was, I hated her in the first part, where I'm like, you're being so unnecessarily cruel to the one person providing for you. Like, and also a person who's showing you appreciation in some semblance of that. But I think that I was, like, Nesta completely redeemed herself with just not being a dipshit in the last book. And so now I'm like, oh, I hope Nesta comes back. And then where Feyre's like, my sister, we get along great up here, but she hates your people. And I'm like, wow, you hated your people. It wasn't until you started banging one of them that you were like, man, maybe they're all right. Like, I don't know. And now she can't get enough of them.
It was not too long after this, or at least in the same area, that it was Ianthe talking about the wedding and all of that. And she brings up that there is no mating bond between her and Tamlin. She didn't even really know what the mating bond was in the last book, but she definitely knows that it hasn't happened. And thinking back on Lucian, when he was talking about his mating bond, he was bringing up that the mating bond is about to happen anyway, so we might as well just get married and have a wedding. And there's no point in fighting this. And that's where his dad and brothers, whoever it was, slaughtered his girl.
Yeah, in front of him.
But overall, if I remember correctly, the mating bond was brought up as something that was occurring before the wedding, or at least incredibly close, therefore let's get married.
Oh.
And it hasn't even been addressed between her and Tamlin. Like, they don't even talk.
So, and this is why I think Tamlin is selfish, because I think the mating bond thing is more like a boom, hits you like a ton of bricks. I think it's kind of like like when you first realize that, like, you really love somebody. Like, you have that fascination stuff to begin with, and then you have a moment where you're like, you don't even want to like that person. And then you're like, oh my God, I can't help myself. Like, this person is so important to me outside of what I desire, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that is where, I think that's where the mating bond thing kind of comes in. And I think that she's like, oh, I was all Twitter paid with Tamlin, but I don't know, the sparks aren't there. And I think she got it at the end of the last book with rhysand. I think that's why he was like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
No,
Yep. I think it hit him. I think he imprinted on her. Yeah. I think he just imprinted.
But why was it horror?
First of all, this means like really bad shit for him overall. You just got all the kingdoms back. Everybody's chilling, and you're about to be like, well, it turns out you're going to live
way better theory than mine, where he's just like, ooh, we're fuck. I'm like that. Yeah, he just disappeared right afterwards. Just looked at her in shock.
I think he spent 3 months making sure his nails were short. But I think it is. I think she has such a disdain for him. But remember, she's like, toward the end, he wasn't exactly an enemy.
Yeah, she says that at the beginning in chapter 1, talking about him. He's not an enemy. Even though he is to this person and this person and this group and this group.
Yeah, I think she's just refusing to acknowledge it. I would say, like, the first 20 times I proposed to you, or you just didn't realize yet how much you wanted to love me. And then it finally
20th proposal. We are not going into all of those. Anyway.
If rhysand would have peed, will you marry me?
No.
Feyre in the snow. It would have been awesome. I'd like to add that proposal didn't work, if anybody's curious.
I don't even know how to transition into what I want to go into next. Around this same time, when talking about their wedding and all the planning, russet doesn't mean brown, like russet potatoes, it turns out.
So here's the funny thing, though. I remember this being a revelation for you, right?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's green.
So here's the cool thing. What difference do you think that makes for me?
None. No. Yeah, that is sad. We were just talking about this book has so much green in it.
Yeah. Super inconvenient, but also, as far as I'm concerned, a russet potato could be green.
Yeah.
Makes
Well,
sense
I don't think it
to
has
me.
anything to do with potatoes, actually. I think russet must be some type of gem.
No. The Russet Gemstones. It'd be a new HBO show.
What are your thoughts on the High Priestess wanting Lucian?
I don't think she wants Lucian.
What?
Yeah, I think she and Tamlin are similarly motivated purely by advantageous circumstance. And I think
The
Lucian,
clues are there.
yeah, I think she and it very distinctly says, Feyre says that she is interested in rising her own station.
And she got
Yeah.
all the other priestess to not show up by some reason. We don't get to know why.
Well,
And
they
I
all
guess
hate
it's-
her and she hates them.
But as far as a normal ceremony goes, where they get their power from ceremonies. You would think that you would follow the ceremony as normal.
I think maybe she just told them it was a wrong save the date. Like she just moved it a week out of the way. She's like, dumb bitches.
What are your thoughts on Ianthe's overall plan? Does she have her own mission going on? in the
Yeah,
background?
her mission
What is it?
her mission is more power and influence, period. And I think that what's really going to be a shame is she and Tamlin, as Feyre says, would make a good pairing.
Yeah.
But, and that's, I don't think that Feyre's yet willing to acknowledge that Tamlin sees her as an advantageous marriage partner. As
She's
opposed,
Feyre as an advantageous.
yeah, as opposed to, like,
Ianthe.
I wouldn't leave, like, he's not giving you, like, I would leave my kingdom behind for you. It's,
No, he's not.
It's
He's
very
like,
much like-
you're a symbol to my kingdom of
yeah,
safety, protection, and power.
which I think makes sense, right? Because he is, like, in the royal bullshit, he meant to be symbolic marriages more than anything.
I don't know what her plan is, but
Oh,
what's
you
up with the
don't?
fertility?
You're not guessing what her plan is?
No, I want more clues.
Her plan is to, I think her plan was to be like, well, let's just get hitched. I'll suffer the rest of my life for my sins, basically. And I'll keep banging the beast boy. Like, I think that's her whole game plan. And now she's with Rhysand, and she's going to be like, the tub's pretty fucking nice. And she's going to
I thought you were talking about Ianthe.
Oh, we probably were, and I just wasn't following along.
It was as soon as you said she's with Rhysand, I'm like, what? What do you mean she's with Rhysand?
We were like, banging the beast boy. Sure.
I
Yeah, no.
was like, wow, I do not listen to this book.
No, I would say,
I just sit around waiting for Rhysand to show back up.
honestly, I would not be shocked. So,
Okay, the High Priestess plan. I'm just waiting for more clues on that.
oh yeah, no, she's just more power, more power, more power. And I think initially the idea is it behooves her to have friends like Feyre and
Yeah.
Tamlin, High Lords,
Mm-hmm.
is powerful, even among them, right?
Yeah.
He's considered to be a pretty tough customer. So I think she wants to keep him around. Feyre's rebirth is done by the tiers of the kingdom, right? All of the most, like the 7 or 8 most powerful beings roaming these lands give a little piece of their power to revive her.
Which I'm so glad.
So she's going to have to be some sort of super bitch Fae.
Yes, because when Tamlin's going down on her, he's talking about there are no high ladies. That's not a thing. High lords. And that's why I was like, oh my God, do only high lords transform into these things and the women don't? But because she is who she is, because she got a small piece of all the high lords, like 7 of them, I think she's going to be an equivalent of them.
I'm realizing that I'm in the wrong headspace for this book right now because I think that you could have adapted a porno parody to this so easily. It would have just been like a
porno parody.
yeah, but instead of like the Tears of the Kingdom, it's just like magic on her.
Ryan.
I said of magic. I said magic. I think it's okay. Oh, the book we're reviewing, and I'm going too far. You remember how that scene was described? I thought he was kissing her at first. I was
Going
shocked.
back into it.
My mind is blown.
Oh
Much
my
like
goodness.
Feyre's.
Okay, I went back into chapter 2 in my notes and I looked, I'm like, oh my gosh, thinking I was in chapter 3. Like, they did it again in chapter 3? No. I found it so sad that Ianthe offered to cover her tattoo for her wedding. She's like, we could get you gloves and
Yeah, but Ianthe also, like the rest of the world thinks pretty little of Rhysand,
yeah.
right? Like Nobody cares for that guy.
Just like a mark, but really it's like a mark of what Feyre was willing to do for everybody. I was willing to
Could
make
look at it that way.
like I see that as a badge of honor at this point.
I think you could very easily make a case for both things being true. Your high lady of this area is 25% owned by the dude on another place. And then also, like, she was willing to give up 25% of her life. Not 50% of it, though, for all of you. I think that's the funniest part, too. If they understood that deal where she was like, no, 50%, fuck them. 25% now. And that's before she knew about the comfortable clothes and the cool tub. I'm going to keep going back to that because that tub is sticking in my brain.
It was so, yeah.
I want to
Chapter 5 was just pretty much describing the mountain, which was nice. It was,
That was my favorite
let's take
chapter.
time to describe his bachelor pad.
Oh, no. And his 2 hot twins that are his servants.
Oh, now you think they're hot? I brought the same girls up. They're the same girls.
Yeah, no, I'm assuming they're supposed to be that way. I'm not saying I did
It's just
nothing.
like you have 2 shadow ladies.
Yeah, I mean, now if they become like they have personalities and they're shadow ladies,
Just
better years.
women being assholes, just 2 Nestas.
Yeah, but
This
even
book will be
cooler.
for you then.
Well, so here's the thing, though. I also want to touch on this. Well, no, I don't yet. I want to wait.
Okay.
Sorry.
I think it was around the time that she was talking to ianthe that ianthe asked her what types of flowers, and Feyre talks about not wanting red flowers.
No red roses.
Yes. And it was so sad. I think that was the one request that Feyre made for her wedding.
Yeah.
Was the color of flowers. The only request. She said, ianthe, you can pick everything. You do better at this stuff. Everything. She picked one thing and she didn't get it.
Well, she didn't really pick something. She forbade one thing, and it was ignored.
Yeah.
I think that was a good part to put in here because it does both show Tamlin's level of competence in listening to this woman whom he loves, blah, 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 means the world to, so on and so forth. And then also your best friend, air quotes, like, no, that bitch is also not in it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gives a shit about you. Although she does ask about her bringing her family up, which is how we got into the whole like Nesta thing. But does it not blow your mind a little bit that who's that shining star of a person who is engaged in this book?
Feyre.
Feyre, there we go. Yeah, so this wonderful woman, right, is asked about her family, blah, 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 and she's like, no, they hate the Fae, so on and so forth. Can Feyre not glamour herself to not appear as a Fae?
Whoa.
I mean, like, is it honest? No, but is it better than, like, you're going to live for eternity? Your family has a very limited amount of time on this planet, right?
I might as well pretend to be a human growing old in front of them.
Yeah, who gives a shit? And it's not like you see them all the time. They're still rich. They're still down on the
I'm
other
not
area.
consider that as an option. I'm just like, well, that sucks.
Well, if nothing else, you sneak down into the human land, disguised as a human person, right? Talk to your family and be like, hey, I gotta go marry this Fae guy. Also, I'm slowly turning into a Fae because I'm up there. Give them time. Like, let them walk through the shallow end of the pool before they just...
Yeah.
the
Just
deep end.
slowly the ears get a little pointier and pointier and get a little taller.
During the conversation. Just like, whoa. All I want to do is bang fairies. What's going on with my brain?
In chapter 3 with Lucian, he said, isn't that what all the human girls want? It's just this life that Feyre is being given?
Yeah, and I think he's right. For the
I
most
like
part.
how just blunt he is with her. She's like, did Tamlin ask you to take me here? He's like, no, I did. Just to show you because it's getting annoying.
Yeah,
Since
because
Tamlin won't do it.
Fucking ridiculous. See, and
He's
this
kind of a bro.
Well, yeah.
In a dick way. He's just like,
He
just
is
gonna be straight with you.
arguably he should be her best friend, right? Because he's the only honest one here with her. But I would also like to say what kills me is I think that this author must have moments where she checks in with herself and is like, oh, I'm getting a little lost in the sauce here. I need something to bring me back to reality.
What do you mean?
That's what Lucian is. Lucian is like a character, like when her brain goes, all right, I've been whimsical long enough. I can't keep dealing with
Yeah,
this bullshit.
Lucian is not a whimsical character.
No, he is one of my favorites when he comes up, I'm excited. I think I feel how you do, like when it's like rhysand did this or that, and you're like,
the way he showed up,
okay,
entrance.
just stop, slow down, because I actually woke up, or didn't wake up. I rolled over and even said out loud, I was like, that's so badass.
It
like,
was so good.
Yeah, it was fucking cool.
But before we get there,
but Lucian is, he's, every time he shows up, I'm happy because he just brings some reality back to it, right? Like she was like, I was carrying around these daggers, and I'm like, you're wearing gowns, you don't have fucking pockets. Are you just fisting these fucking daggers all the time? Like leading up to this? Because it was like, oh, Lucian got me a sweet dagger satchel, which we learned the name for before. Not
Baldric.
a bayonet. Thank you. Baldric, yes. Got me a super pretty Baldric. So I could hide my daggers in that. And I wouldn't just have to carry them around. And I'm like, were you just fisting these, just walking around places? Like, you need that cut? You need a rope cut? You need that trimmed? Like, that's what I imagine she was doing. You know, like when you give a
like
kid a knife?
Yeah. When the kids for Christmas, they got like the little old pocket knives for my grandpa. And they're just like, I got a knife. You need that cut? Yeah, you need that cut. You just give me the one.
On that note, I hid those because those were so sharp. Like, unbelievably sharp.
They're like rusty though with the gear to open.
No, they're so well maintained. Your grandpa did a lovely job.
Oh, I thought the one that you just used on the zip ties looked terrifying.
Yeah, no, that's, I think, just dried blood on it, but it was 100%. Like, it is so sharp.
But yeah, she wants to go out and fight, which during the same time when talking to Lucian, again, giving the good details, being a bro, talking about the taxes on the people. Oh, I felt so bad. Like, are we going to have sacrifices because they're not paying their taxes?
We wouldn't have had to have had all these taxes if you quit breaking everything you fucking touched.
Were they not paying taxes for the last 50 some years?
No, back taxes are going to kick their ass.
Like they were talking about them being starved for 50 years under the mountain. They're like, all right, taxes.
Listen, if I know anything, it's that the PRS is the only scary thing in this whole book.
You guys got 3 months grace. I could have started the scene immediately.
Yeah, and also, that's the other thing I love is like, you've had 3 months to get back to real life.
Get your shit together.
Yeah. No, he doesn't have his shit together, and he's like the most powerful one of all of them. And they're all just trying to get by and rebuild their town. Like, also, they're talking about how the town's just decimated, and these people are building from square one. Like, in the well and the pub are the only 2 things in this town that are finished. These people are out here sleeping under the stars, and this guy's like, I want 10%.
You 10%.
Yeah. What's the other thing, too? There's a 10% flat tax.
Such wealth going on. Why don't the people have what
basic
like,
necessities?
What is, like, maybe
he gives them the army. It's like if it was like, it would be like if the Catholic Church was run by the PRC. That's what it reminds me of. Like, it's, you pay this flat 10% tax rate. Okay, you know what? A flat 10% tax rate, I would take that. That would be cool. But then also the only benefit you get at all is that you get an army. Like, you're not going to get taken down again. But you're not even doing well at that. It's only been 3 months since we were enslaved for 50 years.
What do you think his plan is?
For taxes?
Why is he, oh goodness. He says something about almost like make America great. Make Parentia great again. Bring it back to what it was. Honestly, there was something to that.
Do you think it would be green hats instead? Tamlin's a Trump of this book. It kind of makes sense, the selfish lover thing.
No.
Flowing hair. Imagine the wind comes in and blows Tamlin's comb over on their own way. Dude, I would love this book so much if it made a swift pivot, honestly. You got, this is Joe Biden in this story, because he can't be the darkness daddy. But he's just over there sniffing Feyre's hair.
He's the winter court guy.
It wasn't thunder for his entrance. He just farted and fell. You don't want to get married to this guy, do you? Come here, Feyre, let me smell you.
I can't breathe.
We're the greatest taxes. It's going to be awesome. Your well is going to be unbelievable. It's going to be huge.
Oh, Trump's beast for me.
I think it's the same. I think he's still some sort of like elk cat that somehow would be so Trump. And also they keep talking about like the paws and the claws. And he just like goes to shake all the other people's hands, but kind of extends claws into him to try to assert dominance. This might be the best book ever written. Oh man. Hey, what's this author's name again one more time?
Sarah J. Maas.
Sarah, if you're listening, I need you to get on this. And if you need help, call. Let us know.
We're backing up, but overall, this is not going to be helpful because he's like trying to build up resources to restore things. I was thinking it was to protect Feyre, but I also kind of wondered if he's going to try to take over in a similar way, like Ianthe.
I'm going to derail this one more time, just for a second, but Feyre is the Melania of this thing, or she sort of like doesn't really want to be there, right? Like you can tell she doesn't love him that much, but she still lets him bite a tit every once in a while. It's awesome. And the priestess is just Ivanka Trump, because you look at her, you're like, holy shit, and she's got her shit together, but you can tell underneath her she's just a snake wearing people skin. God damn. This could have been an amazing book.
You can start your own little fan page.
I am.
Writing your own lore.
Dude, it's so funny. Then you just got JFK back from the grave, and that's rhysand. Everybody's all like horny for him, you know? Nothing bad ever happens to the Shadow Daddies. He fucking crashes into the...
My rule is no politics.
I don't think we did any actual politics.
Doesn't count.
We keep this.
Nothing bad ever happens to the Shadow Daddy.
Right? I told you. It's awesome.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, man.
Oh, my last little note on chapter 3 is how can Fae starve if they're immortal? They were eating each other.
So immortal does not mean you can't die.
Oh, what does it mean?
Immortal means you do not die of natural causes. Those
like starvation?
Well, that's not a natural cause, babe.
But
dying of natural causes? Okay, so if I like starve somebody, do they say cause of death? Natural causes?
What's the line of natural
illness? And your cells dividing so many times that they start to...
Okay, so not of old age.
Distort.
Not of a stabbing.
Well, I mean, it depends. If you stab them with the right thing, yeah, they die.
But we talked about in the last one that, like, if it's made of steel and you stabbed in a fatal
bleed,
spot.
But they can heal. The thing that makes ash something that doesn't allow them to heal.
So they can starve.
And yeah, I think they could starve, drown, burn. I think they could die of several things. I just think they don't age to the point of death. Like lobsters.
What?
You didn't know this?
Well, what are lobsters?
Like the critters that we eat.
I know what they are.
Oh.
What do you mean?
They don't die from aging.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Just eventually the fact that they can't keep up, right? Or disease takes them out. Either they can't get a shell.
Die from being eaten or something.
Yeah, but they don't die of old age, ever.
Wow. What a fun fact.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm here to help.
So you just compare all the Fae to a lobster?
Honestly.
Lobster died from this.
Does that make Lucian the Zoidberg of this?
It's red hair.
He's just like... That's not a good impression, but you know what?
It was good.
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote, what is Ianthe's plan 2 times. Clearly, I really wanted to know what you thought of this, because I had no clue.
I don't think she's going to turn out to be an evil character, though. I have it in my head that she's going to be like a neutral evil type character. She's not out to fuck up anybody out of anything. She just wants more.
That's a good point. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. She seems like she's up to something, but she's also too attractive to not be like with somebody we do like.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think she's going to attempt to get with somebody who we like, and there's going to be like this conflict because she's so attractive, and then they're still going to choose not to get with this bitch.
You need to stop calling on that.
No, I think that one is okay. The other one's Wonderful Woman.
I think Feyre's going to shapeshift, and right there when she was trying to get out of it, not only was she sending mind vibes to rhysand, she was also getting ready to change.
This is how I know I should not be doing this right now, because all I could think of is her going, Coco Gadget fleshlight. And that's her whole thing
No.
for rhysand. Yeah.
But no, I think she was going to shift and she was feeling it because she kind of referenced it like a beast inside.
Oh, I thought she was talking about Tamlin and her were fucking.
No, she's
was a
trying to
beast
get
inside.
out of it.
Well,
What'd you
yeah.
think of Rhys's entrance?
Honestly, I turned to you and said, oh, fuck, that was badass. Like, I hated how much I loved it. It was perfect. If it would have been a bolt of lightning that brought him down,
Yeah.
that would have been maybe as cool, maybe equally or even cooler. But the fact it was just like a thunderclapping noise and then poof, black, and then he comes out.
I don't remember what he said, but it was so good.
I don't.
I just remember the feeling, what it was like hearing that moment. I'm like, yes.
You're just like, yeah, I'm not going to lie. I get it. In that moment, if it would have been like,
And Feyre's
if it would have
just
been,
beating on him. She's like, what the hell are you doing here? She's like, girl.
he's like,
no.
you fucking called me, homie. He was like, you butt dialed me. Yeah.
Butt dialing.
He's like, you butt dialed me and said, somebody get me out of here.
Been butt dialing.
Well, and this is the thing. Think of all the things he's had to witness.
Yes. So that was kind
He
of.
knows Tamlin's not good at that.
Well,
He knows.
because, yeah, he's talking. Well, yeah, because he was talking about how he was wondering if the nightmares were real or not and kind of being scared of that a little bit, which is like, just another, I'm good. And I'm like, ooh, is she sending other vibes down that mind vibe?
Yeah, that's how he has the confidence he has. To be completely honest, you don't deal with a woman who treats you that coldly 99% of the time without kind of knowing they just sort of want to bang you. Like, that's you and me. Like, you're mean to me so much, but then I'm like, she still wants to bang me. It's pretty cool. And that's how I hold my head high. Man, this is a dirty episode for me. I am so sorry. Wow, I don't know what's going on. The book maybe got mean.
The book went from a 1 on spiciness up to a 5. And you're just like, I am going to match this energy.
I think I might have exceeded it, like, depending on how much you're into Trump.
Yeah, smart.
All right, I'm
I loved when Rhys links around her arm and just with confidence just comes up and just puts his arm in hers. It's just like, bye.
in fairness, he does own her. So it's a little bit like when I like grab Noodle's leash and I'm like, come on, Noodle, let's go.
No.
In that moment.
Don't ruin this scene for me.
Sorry. Yeah.
It was attractive.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure Noodle loves it. You're right. I gotta
So then he takes her to the mountain and there's more mountain people.
okay. I'm trying to sort
They're like under the mountain. All the people
remember
in
Amarantha's thing.
Yeah, it's all
based
based
off
off of them. Just like I didn't really fully grasp that it was just a whole nother mountain with people in it.
Oh, no. So here's what I thought of Riorson, right? And I still think this, but I think it was more or less just confirmed. He's more or less like Lucifer is the idea, but that's his job. No, but I mean also like in what Night Court is, right? Night Court, sure, it's dark there, but that's also the place where people go for debauchery and all this bullshit, right? So he oversees the worst of the worst people. And that's where he brings up, he's like, listen, that's my occupation. That's not who I am. I think both things are sort of true, but I think like the show Lucifer, you remember this?
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact same mystique, right? Where he's like, oh, I have a shitty job where I got to go like rule hell. But I'm also like super powerful, tall, dark, charming.
And handsome.
Well, I thought, no, I didn't even include that. I just tall and charming. I thought that was enough. Well, okay. But just like the guy who plays Lucifer on the TV show, to be fair, he was just a tall, handsome.
I think
Dark.
Night Court is going to be more of run the way that we would want things to be run, but they
In
spread. No,
The people above the mountain.
all of Night Court, I think, is going to be just like a morally good. Like, I think us hearing about Tamlin taxing the people and executing the people that can't do it after 3 days and stuff like that.
Well, he didn't say he was executing. He said we'd levy punishment.
Okay.
First of all,
I took
Jesus
that as
Christ.
execution.
You get
But I think
$0
we're
if you
going
execute
to
him.
see Night Court handle those same scenarios in a more graceful way. And Feyre's going to love that. Like, yeah, this is more how I would rule things if I was to be a leader. And I think they just spread rumors about themselves so that other people don't come join.
Oh, you think it's like Wyoming, where people like, everybody talk about how much it sucks here. That way nobody shows up. And then like people figured out it wasn't that bad. And then we had to leave. We were like, oh, damn it. Secrets out. This place is awesome. No, I think that that's a great theory. I would also argue this book is meant to get people horny, and there's nothing that gets people hornier than talking about taxes, not once, but twice. I'm going to be so blown away if she brings up like, so, well, okay, I can see this. She brings up, she's like, so when do you guys collect your taxes? And he's like, what are you talking about? We don't need that. We have fucking magic. What do we need money for? Like, things just appear out of the air sometimes.
Or he shares his wealth with the people.
I don't think so. His specific rule is nobody else is allowed in his private residence except for a handful of the people that live here. I think that
doesn't mean he doesn't share his wealth.
I think an important part of his image to his people is that he's a ruthless motherfucker. I think that's what keeps him in line.
Yeah.
And I think if he's like, oh, no, buddy, don't worry about it. I'll help you make your car payment this month. I think that ruins his image.
Being the asshole who ruined a wedding. He's like, you can blame me.
Yeah, and I think that all forebodes more of who he is. It's not necessarily that he is the asshole. It's that his job is to be a dick, but it also affords him these other things, right? Like, he is a separate individual than his job. Tamlin is not.
Yeah.
I think that's part of why he gives Tamlin so much shit for being so honorable, blah, blah, blah. He's like, that's his reputation, but that's also what he does. Like, he lives as the High Lord all the time. And Rhysand is like, I'm the High Lord, but I'm also just a stupid rich billionaire Batman guy. And that's, yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so now can I talk about her room?
Yeah.
There. All right. So she goes down these stairs. This place is described as like open air, right? You've got columns, a bit of a roof, but you can still see the stars and stuff. I'm imagining it's very like, Romanesque.
Oh, I was going more the modern, you like it, where it's like steel
industrial
beams.
I do like modern industrial.
Where steel beams.
Yeah.
Reinforced galvanized. I don't know the order of the terms.
Yeah, reinforced galvanized square steel beams, right? Some screws that he borrowed from his aunt. And wood veneer planking.
Yeah, I pictured it as a lot of rock and industrial modern style.
Okay, so close your eyes. I'm going to take you on a little journey.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I'm ready.
Dear, no, I can see your eyes. I know they're closed.
Now they're closed.
Yeah, this is a visual medium for me. Okay. All right. So think back when you were like 7 or 8 years old. There's this amazing Disney film called Hercules. It should have been called Heracles. We don't want to get into that right now.
A cartoon?
Yeah, close your damn eyes. What are you doing? Thank you. All right. Hercules, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes up to meet his dad. Mm-hmm. He walks up Mount Olympia, right? Do you remember where the big stone Zeus guy was?
No.
There were these big ivory columns and this little roof, but then all around it was stars and darkness, blah, blah, blah. That's what I imagine this is, right?
Oh, that's way cool.
Yeah, right? And then the stairs go down into like just underneath like what would otherwise be a flat plane, right? Almost like a basement off the side of each one. And then you have her room. First door on the right. I don't know why it was on the right. I don't even know if there's another door down there.
I don't know.
But in my brain, you came down to the stairs. Hallway extends for, let's say, 20, 30 yards. Boom, door off to the right. There's a little torch there just outside that door. Other than that, just above her, all stars in that hallway. Just gorgeous, right? Mountain views everywhere. Awesome. She goes in the bedroom. You got walls on 3 sides. One where your door is. To the right, that's where your bed and stuff is. To your left, that's where your like armoire and your makeup station. What do you call those tables again? We just moved one out of our bedroom.
Powder room table.
Oh man, I thought there was a cool name for those, but that might be it.
Here's a better name.
No, it's cool. We'll run with it. Anyways, she's got her powder room table, right? She's got all the interesting things she needs for her storage and all that on the left. Straight out the front, this awesome bath where it's like half indoors and it extends outdoors. And it's like
the wide edge, the low edge, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. It's completely flush, right? So curbless around the front. So you just walk down into that bad boy. And you're still inside.
Like you can look down and see off the mountain. Is how I put it.
Yeah. Well, that's as you get further into this enormous tub, right? Which is really more like a pool.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk out to the edge. The water is just constantly flowing off the edge of that. There's some volcanic shit that keeps the water warm as it's flowing down in there, because that's how it works in my head. And
You
I
were
just
so
wanted to be in
falling
that tub.
asleep to this scene
Dude,
too.
I
So that
wanted
could
to
have
be in
been
that
so
tub.
good.
It was amazing. I just wanted in that tub so
With Feyre?
no, honestly, I don't even know that I want anybody else in there. I love you to pieces. I would gladly look at you on your way to that tub. I just want to be in there by myself for like 5 minutes and just soak in it. I feel like my back would just
Yeah, you have a
relax.
really long day at work too. What's the word?
Yeah, but I would love that. Like, oh, it sounded so cool. And then, like, it's lightly snowing around you. You know, like when we go to,
Saratoga.
yeah, I wasn't going to list a place. Jeez, Adrian, really triangulating.
Wyoming and South.
All right, fair. Yeah, when we go to Saratoga, like, sitting in the hot springs when it's snowing, like, that's what I was thinking. Just envisioning it. It was awesome.
That sounds so nice, but not the smell of the sulfur.
I think you still get some of that, and I'm cool with it. I'm not going to lie. Like, it could have been just crystal clear mountain water.
Bed was just huge, too.
Yeah, like an
Cozy.
Alaskan king. Like, just a massive
All
9-foot bed.
black silk sheet,
Dude, those would
black
look
comforter.
awful immediately after the first time you banged them.
Well, it doesn't matter. That's what I pictured the bed being.
Listen, I'm on board. And if you want to buy black silk sheets,
No.
black rayon, all I'm saying is it was awesome in my head. And then I imagine like a big floofy robe. And she never says this. This is in my head. No, this is my book.
You're just like, I am now Feyre, and I am a queen.
I am. Slay
Thank
me.
for queen.
Slay me. I would be really into that. Like, I repeated that joke. Like, it was more,
You're like, I did not get the credit I deserve.
excuse me,
Did that land?
slay me. Yeah, no, I think that's about it for me. That's what I envisioned. Oh, and then the twins showed up.
Yeah, the twins show up.
They have names now.
I don't remember them.
Nico. Nope. Cat names.
Yeah, I had no
They
idea.
have cat names. Whatever their names are, it sounds like it would be the name of cats.
Then she goes out and she has breakfast with him, and he's talking about their bond. And she was sending the Maya vibes to him, which I was kind of guessing was happening. But he kind of makes, he alludes to there being more people who are like him.
You can open
be-
your eyes now.
They have been, you goober. He alludes to there being more people like him with a mind power.
So my guess is he has siblings because Lucian has siblings.
Yeah.
The other guy, Tamlin, it's not brought up that he has siblings, right?
I don't know. Rhysand kind of gives only child vibes, but yeah, he might have siblings.
I would argue Rhysand gives I need attention. He gives youngest child or eldest child, one or the other, because he's also okay with taking the shit off of everybody. So he could be the oldest kid,
Yeah.
but the way that he demands attention from people, nah, he could be the youngest kid too. He's not a
Bro.
middle child. I'll tell you that right now. He's
Yeah.
not a middle child,
Yeah.
but he's not an only child because he's not as selfish as Tamlin. That's my guess. And he does tell her, please quit being illiterate.
Yeah.
Like, we're supposed to be ordering breakfast, and so far we've talked about all these things, and she's still staring at a menu, just trying to make sense of it.
I'm kind of wondering how fast she will learn how to read and
She has a
write.
week. That's what he said. He goes, this week
This
you learn to read.
This is what I want you to try to do. Like,
She got Feyre right now. She could figure it out in a week.
yeah, I'm just wondering how quickly she gets through this adversity. I think it should be quite a while. It would take a very long time to learn how to do this.
I have one challenge to this. I agree it would take much longer than a week. I do think it would be much easier to learn to read a language if you spoke it fluently.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
You just got to memorize what the shapes are.
Yeah, and certain rules with them, like use these letters for this, but
Yeah. Like, I
it
feel
shouldn't
like,
take too long. But overall, it should be more than a week.
yeah, I would agree. 10 days, then she's hooked on phonics. They got her.
Wow.
I am actually enjoying this a lot.
Yeah, you.
To be fair, I was enjoying all of it, like the first book, but if you exclude chapter 2 in this second book so
It's
far,
even chapter 2 is 40 minutes for the narrator, the audiobook. It was the last 20 minutes, so really just half of it. The first half was going into her planning the wedding and her experience.
yeah, I didn't need any of that either. But
Yeah, that was all in the same
yeah,
chapter.
because she actually didn't plan the wedding. We heard every decision she made, and I get why they did it, because then it was like, oh, now we can all be angry about the red flowers,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we learned that people don't have potato eyes. That's cool. Like, now I have no idea what to envision, but whatever. No,
They're
it's
green.
They're green.
They're green eyes, yeah.
Everything in the spring court is green.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy to be in the night court.
Yeah, everything's just black.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, we have chapters 6 through 11, or can I not count? 6 through 10.
We could do 6 through 10. I think that's fair.
Again, I love you.
I love you.
You're my bestie.
You're my bestie. It was a great time. We had fun. Now get out and go live your life.
No, wait. No. Thank you all for listening. We appreciate and love you all. Please follow us here, TikTok or Instagram at Shadow Daddies Podcast.
And then go live your life.
Bye.
Bye. Get out. We're done. This was Daggers and Shadow Daddies. Now it's my time. Toodaloo. It was fun for us. I hope it was fun for you. But that's all we've got. Goodbye. Come back in a few days. We love you.